2, 1. And we are live with the Wild West Crypto Show, broadcasting from Frankfurt at the World Blockchain Summit. I've had the pleasure of running into Stephen Melnik, who I listened to on stage this morning. And, you know, I always love to listen to people that are inspirational and have a message that is uplifting and you know, bigger than themselves. So I really enjoyed it. So tell me a little bit about what brought you here and how you're working with the World Blockchain Summit.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate it. And I enjoyed your speech and your presentation. I know people did in the room too. I think it's important what you do and everything that you facilitate for different companies, which is really great. What brought me here, I was asked to fly in to share my message. I came to the United States as a refugee with nothing, $100 in my pocket with my mom. We started cleaning bathrooms when we just started, and it was tough times. And it seemed like, you know, there's no future, there was no clue, and my mom was crying, you know, looking at me, young man, 18. And to fast forward, you know, I've done a lot of things, in many ways uniquely successful career on Wall Street and academia, and best-selling author, attorney, running national organizations, and of course, tenure professor in the largest business school in the country, and many, many other things. And I was always asked by my students, when I lecture, I always put in little, you know, what I call success amplifiers. And I was always asked, can you just, you know, whenever I teach law or business or tax, students would, after class would come up and say, can you just talk a little bit about life and yourself, your story, and how you got there? And basically, this just naturally grew, and I talked to a few students, and through social media it spread, and then 100 and 1,000, and then, you know, to fast forward, I think last month I was invited to speak in Las Vegas, and organizers invited 42,000 people there, and it's all about my life, and now Hollywood became interested. And basically what ignites everything in me is the passion of helping people get where they want to be and to bridge that gap. And I do that. I have my own system that I talk about that helped me in many ways, and over the years, over the decades, I see how it helped others.
Well, I'll tell you, it really is an amazing thing. I mean, I had chills going down my spine when you tell the story. It's one of the pleasures that I get to meet people like you. And in this space, with all these emerging technologies, there are other people like yourself who are really doing wonderful things and have a great story. So now, are you're plugged in with Kent Christensen? Is that right?
Well, Kent and Messenger Bank, they sponsor my talks.
Okay.
So depending where I speak, there are different sponsors. And I appreciate everything that Messenger Bank does. I mean, their ultimate goal is to better lives. And I found that to be very much in sync with what I do. And this is why I think it's a nice kind of synergy going, and they appreciate what I do. They want to support it. They want to bring the message to people around the world, which is disconnected from the bank itself. It's just simply me sharing my counterintuitive approaches. So the system that I developed is called CIA, Counterintuitive Intelligence Amplifiers, because one of the things I talk to people about is whatever our mind takes us, this is not necessarily the best path forward, and I teach them how to think counterintuitively. So I appreciate what Messenger Bank does. I mean, these guys are doing revolution in the banking industry and changing the entire experience using blockchain. So it's just joyful for me time to be part of this major transformation around the world.
Well, I'll tell you what, to have Messenger Bank in your back pocket, so to say, is a big deal. That's a very successful organization, and Kent is a wonderful guy. For sure. It is interesting. So it's counterintuitive
intelligence
amplifiers. And it's interesting you say that, because even this morning, so I had the worst jet lag last night. I couldn't sleep. 4 in the morning. I'm like, geez, you know, like, what am I going to do? And so even this morning, when my recorder starts playing some things, then I go, no, Bruce, it's the wrong message. And you have to switch it. And I think this is probably something.
This is exactly what it is. One of the things that I teach is before you do anything, our mind says, good, this got to be done, this got to be done. You got to stop. You got to stop yourself. That's the first most important point. Never just run on autopilot. And then one of the things that I do, like you talked about motivational speeches, and I'm very much against them. They just don't work. Because the moment you come out from these exciting, motivating boosting self-confidence events, next day it all disappears. And then life comes and some difficult business decision comes, a family, and now you feel even worse because you feel like you went to those events and now not only you're not performing the way you want to, you feel like you failed yourself. It's like sugar, sometimes I refer to it. It gives you a big rush and then there's a big crash and then it hurts your system. Same thing with these motivational events. So what I do is, this is where I come in when people come out to the real world and they have real situations, they don't know what to do. I give them tools from this counterintuitive intelligence amplifying system, how to deal with people so you get what you want, that you address their needs. So you think, because for example, when we deal with people, especially in the business world, like this event, a lot of entrepreneurs, the default is I want, I need, right? But this is our intuition. Right. The counterintuitive approach is you start at the end. Our brain doesn't realize it quite often. You got to start at the end and work backwards. And this is part of the conversation. The same thing, ultimately, why do people do what they want to do? Because they want to be happy. Right. But you ask everyone around, what would make you happy? Right? And say, well, if I do my ICO, if I do this. The truth of the matter is, this is what our brain intuitively tells us. But how many times in our lives we got what we wanted? How long did that excitement stick around? A few moments, and then we're done. Right. So the counterintuitive ultimate conversation is about happiness and well-being. And the counterintuitive approach is, it's not about getting. There's actually one word. It's appreciation. It's gratitude for what you have. It's not about getting. This is the only path. This is the one secret word. You master it, you're going to be happy for life. You don't master it, you're going to be miserable for life. But it's a broader conversation, but in a nutshell.
Sure. Well, that is really amazing, and it goes right into helping other people succeed, and if you help other people succeed, you're gonna do well. It's very interesting. I really enjoyed your talk. So where are you based, and do you have a website? Where can people find? And
I'm based in New York City.
Okay.
And the website is just my name, Stephen Melnik. I'm from Eastern Europe. Okay. So Melnik is no C at the end, so it's stephenmelnik.org. Okay. And people could learn a lot about it. And you said about helping others. Ultimately, the true joy and true benefit and true happiness comes when you could help others.
That's right.
And these business-oriented events, people talk about that money doesn't make you happy. I truly disagree with you because money could make a lot of people very happy. Yes. When you bring that to others, and that gives you the biggest happiness. Yep. And when hearing you talk earlier about helping these business owners and get to the next stage and do the offerings and providing the platform and then see them succeed. Yep. That's a true joy. Right?
It's a true joy, and it's one of the reasons why I enjoy this role that I have here with the World Blockchain Summit and with some of the other conferences, because I get to help people, and it's definitely one of the most important things in my life. But I have a lot to learn from you. I really appreciate the time.
My absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it has been. So it's Stephen Melnik. That's melnik.com.org. And he's available to speak at your event, and he's a real winner. Thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure.
That was awesome.